Welcome back to the Xylostar Weekly Market Update. Today we're going to reveal the insightful information about the financial market. With me, Mr. Amidian and Mr. Samar.
Financial markets have been pretty interesting lately, with Donald Trump fighting Elon Musk, or maybe the opposite way, or both of them together, who cares? And Israel and Iran situation. Will it escalate or not? And it affected gold pretty much impulsively to the upside, as we are familiar. So let's see how technically that is reflecting on charts.
The latest inflation gauges dropped significantly last week. By the way, CPI and PPI both showed us a path which is decreasing day by day. And on the other hand, we got the Michigan consumer sentiment. It showed better than expected inflation expectation and higher sentiment among the consumers in the United States. Let's review it.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another weekly market update from Xylostar. My name is Sam Raslan, I'm a senior technical analyst at the Institute, and today we're going to be speaking about the upcoming week predictions from Xylostar. So to kick it off with US 100 as usually. Now we can see clearly that US 100 has broken below a certain trend line that we can see on these higher lows, and we have a very big red engulfing from there, and then market retraced to this broken support and made a red candle. So this red candle here is not as strong of an engulfing, although it still gives us that bearish sentiment of the market, especially after having an impulsive move to the upside and then this narrowing wedge. So we have multiple reasons actually for the price to fall below this trend line from this resistance. From now, we can expect the markets to go down, liquidate the slow, retest the support, or perhaps a little bit above it, before another attempt to break above the previous strong resistance. So this is about US 100. Going to Nifty50. Now Nifty50 also created for us some form of a bearish pattern. We had an impulsive move to the upside on the 4-hour time frame, and we have this. It is actually an expanding wedge, slightly, right? And we could also consider it as a channel where market went up, liquidated it, and then moved down. So from here, we can actually expect market to do one or two things. Either liquidate these lows also, right, and continue moving up, or just continue moving up. Yeah, and there is actually another possibility, which is if things are to happen correspondingly with the situation right now, geopolitical situations in Iran and Israel, if it may affect India somehow, Indian stocks, Indian investors' mentality, whatever it is, we might see the market falling to 23,500. And yeah, this needs a little bit more of actually fundamental look into it than technical. All right, so going to BTC USD. Now, as I anticipated, guys, markets moved below, liquidated, took the liquidity it wanted, as you guys can see, and moved up again, trying to, or an attempt to break all-time high. Now, right now, BTC actually is within the support and resistance in the middle. So we can expect many forms of consolidation. Could be going up, could be going down. However, we have actually currently a bigger tilt on the downside, especially after this ascending triangle on the resistance, market breaking down, break and retest, traced, engulfing. There are actually many entries for a bearish entry here. And then we have right now currently forming this bearish flag below resistance. So we could see a little bit of movement up, or actually no, there's the engulfing. We could actually be very bearish about Bitcoin now, for of course not just short term, super short term, for a consolidation again, breaking below the slow, retesting the support. That's very possible, or we could notice a further continuation to the upside because it is in a channel right now. So the strength between buyers and sellers is somewhat divided, not equally, but still. All right, now USD, Euro USD is also very bullish. Now forget about this trend line, it's not as accurate at all. However, this is actually not the main reason why Euro USD is bullish, or this channel. Actually, we have our trend line more of coming like that for a longer term, right? And we can consider trend line crossing through this, going up there. All right, not on it, but somewhere in the middle. So giving us a better, longer channel on a better movement to the upside. But we had a break and retest, and from the retest market is going up. On a smaller time frame, we could also see a bull flag here. So if we get a confirmation for a bull entry here, we could actually comfortably go for a buy on EURUSD. Right? If we don't get a confirmation, then it might retrace to this trend line, attempting to liquidate this low or actually reaching to support. We get a confirmation from both ends, either after liquidation or before it. We could go for a long entry on EURUSD. So it is bullish, we're just awaiting a confirmation. Now gold, as you guys are all familiar, it is already pretty bullish. We have somewhat of an ascending triangle lower time frame forming here. We have a very impressive Marabuzo coming up here, and as anticipated, okay, not by me because I wasn't really analyzing gold to you guys, I was giving it to someone else or some other people actually. Anyways, we had a very nice retracement to the trend line, multiple confirmations for long-term entries here actually, guys, for so many reasons, including the trend line. Not this trend line, whatever. So it is bullish. Right now we're at resistance. We might see market breaking above this ascending triangle because of the fundamental supporting these movements, and also because we still have a further resistance that the market wants to go to, which also is within a range of or space at the upper trend line of this ascending trend on this analysis. So we can expect a further continuation, at least until things cool down geopolitically, internationally, right? So this will be it about gold. Guys, if you want to go long right now, just wait for confirmation by Monday. Don't just crack into buying because it is at resistance and we never want to buy premium. That's it for the upcoming week. You want to stay updated on Xylostar perception or analysis on financial markets, including my comments. Of course, feel free to follow Xylostar Education on TradingView and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're not subscribed already.
Greeting everyone, hope you're doing great. Amir Hamidian here, and today we are going to dive into the financial market with the aspect of fundamental. So I want to start it with the last week. Last week was very crucial because we got different economic indicators such as CPI, PPI, and other inflation gauges from the United States. And by the way, we had a huge geopolitical events. Let's start it. So the US Producer Price Index, or by say PPI, rose by 0.1% in May 2025, driven by 0.1% increase in services and 0.2% increase for the goods. Core PPI, excluding food, energy, and trade, also edged up by 0.1% after 0.1% decline in April. Regarding the CPI, the US CPI, or by say Consumer Price Index, rose by 0.1% in May, slowing from 0.2% in April. Year over year CPI was 2.4%, and shelter and foods cost each rose by 0.3%, while energy prices dropped by 1%, driven by a decline in the gasoline. University of Michigan consumer sentiment rose by 16% in June, marking the first improvement in 6 months, though till 20% below December 2024 levels. Inflation expectations eased, with year ahead expectations dropped to 5.1% and long run expectations down to 4.1% as tariff concerns softened. The UK's GDP grew by 0.7% in the first quarter 2025, marking its strongest quarterly performance in a year. However, the economy contracted by 0.3% in April, the sharpest monthly decline since October 2023, primarily due to US tariffs and the expiration of the property tax relief. Despite these changes, the Bank of England is expected to cut interest rates gradually, with a forecasted full-year growth of 1% 2025. From the geopolitical side, tensions between Iran and Israel in mid-2025 triggered a sharp drop in risk appetite and a surge in gold prices as investors rushed to safe havens amid fears of regional escalation. The US and India moved closer to a mini trade deal after 4 days of talks focusing on tariffs reductions. Sticking points remain over agriculture, pharma, and data regulations. The US and Japan, from the other side, resumed trade talks in June 2025, aiming to finalize a deal by the upcoming G7 summit. Key issues include US auto tariffs and Japan's push for industrial trade concessions. So next week is going to be a crowded week because we will get the latest update about the interest rate by 3 different central banks, such as Bank of England, or better to say BOE, and the other one is the Federal Reserve, and eventually Bank of Japan. So these 3 banks are going to update us with the latest statements. And by the way, from the Federal Reserve of the United States, we are going to get the latest economic projections and also dot plot. From the other side, we will get the CPI year over year for the UK on Wednesday, 18th of June. And by the way, on 17th, we are going to get the core retail sales and retail sales number, which is one of the best indicators to show the strength of consumers in the United States. And finally, we are going to get the retail sales number also for the Great British Pound on UK 20th of June. Stay tuned. See you next week.
Thank you for watching us. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you guys next week.